Welcome to the Time of Your Life with the Baltimore County Department of Aging. I'm your host, Ethel Rasmussen. Today's show keeps you in the know by conveying important and interesting information about the contemporary topics that impact you, our viewing audience. As we begin the new year, Baltimore County Department of Aging is pleased to announce their 2016 initiative, which is called Brain Matters. The initiative provides special programming throughout the year in BCDA's 20 senior centers, as well as community-based programs. To support BCDA's new initiative, our guest today is Dr. Daniel Storch from KeyPoint Health Services, who is on the show to talk about brain function during the aging process. He'll discuss the commonly used use it or lose it phrase that so many of us have heard when memory function is discussed. Dr. Storch will also share other pertinent information to support brain health, as well as answer many questions you may have. Debbie Orlov, Community Business Liaison at the Department of Aging, closes the show with information about senior center travel, senior box office, and what's happening at your local senior center. Let's begin the time of your life with Joanne Williams, Director of the Department of Aging. Joanne is kicking off the show with the launch of Brain Matters, which is the Department of Aging's exciting new initiative. Welcome to the show, Joanne.
Thank you, Ethel. Good to be here.
Joanne, the department is known to pick a specific topic for their annual initiative that focus on public awareness as well as a way to educate older adults on important topics. Can you share the details of BCDA's 2016 initiative?
Well, we're very excited about our initiative, which we're calling Brain Matters. We have taken a lot of time, done a lot of research. We've talked with our staff, we've talked with our advisory boards, the Commission on Aging, and of course we've spoken with the clients that we serve. And we feel that this is a topic that everyone can relate to at some point in the aging process. And once we select the topic, we form a committee. So we have staff who have come together and developed a plan for how we're going to market and integrate that topic in everything that we do throughout the year. So we're very excited to think that we'll be able to take that within our senior centers and interject that into everything that we have planned for 2016.
Brain health is an important topic. Can you talk about the array of programs that will be offered throughout the initiative?
Sure. As I said, we have 20 senior centers, and we'll be promoting all of the programs, as you can see. In January, February, and March, we'll be concentrating on your body and your brain. In April, May, and June of 2016, your emotions and your brain. In July, August, and September, your environment and your brain. October, November, and December, we're going to tackle technology and how that interacts with functioning of your brain. We have several community programs coming up from January through March of 2016. Boost Your Brain is in January, specifically on the 8th at 10 a.m. Fun tactics to improve your memory. We have Amanda Weber from KeyPoint Health Services who will be sharing her experience and expertise in that field. Recognizing strokes, how to save a life on February the 9th at 3 p.m. Dr. Gerald Fleischman at the Colton Auditorium at Franklin Square Hospital will be talking about that subject. Medications and their effect on the brain, March 23rd at 10:30 a.m. Wayne Van Wee, a pharmacist and senior box office, will be available to share his expertise.
There certainly sounds like there's something for everyone.
Yes.
In addition to our community partner events, what can people expect to see at our 20 different senior centers?
Well, we're always up for the challenge of presenting programs and services for those who have a very diverse interests and need in the senior center region. We'll be doing a Brain Day with Scrabble, Brain Train with Strength and Dance Demo. We'll have a Brain Matters Talk, Brain Power Foods Talk, very important to keep nutrition up to date, Brain Exercise, Celebrating Wellness of Mind and Body, Conversations with your doctor, how to have those tough conversations with your physicians, Facing Alzheimer's, an African American perspective. Unfortunately, that's a rising dilemma there. Guided imagery, meditation to help brain health, how smoking affects the brain, memory enhancement, risk factor, medication interactions, very important. The aging brain, the green on brain boosting herbs, your meds and your memory, and then many, many other similar topics we'll be doing.
I understand in conjunction with the initiative that the department will also be offering a publication as well as a professional conference. Can you give us some of the details for that?
Sure. Well, education and providing resources is very important and key to our consumers, both professionals and the clients that we serve. In May, we're looking forward to presenting a publication, a consumer resource guide, if you will, that will cover information on a lot of the topics that we just talked about, because they're, keeping your cognitive skills sharp and your brain healthy is very important to overall health. So we will have those available in libraries and senior centers. And again, thanks to our very generous corporate sponsors, we'll be able to present those free of charge to hundreds of people. And as far as education is concerned, we also try to educate the professionals in the field of aging. So in the spring, we will have our annual Senior Solutions Conference, and we will also include Brain Matters as a topic, and we'll be engaging speakers who will come in and share their expertise, and again, help our professionals to do a better job of serving those in this network.
Sounds like lots of wonderful training will be happening as part of the initiative.
Definitely.
Preserving brain function and memory is such a hot topic when you think about the incidence of Alzheimer's disease coupled with increased longevity. For those interested in learning more about these programs, how can people find out that information? Well,
of course, you can contact our office, contact our MAP, our Maryland Access Point office at 410-887-2594, and come out and take advantage of any of the programs and activities at our senior centers to get more information.
In closing, is there any other information you'd like to tell our viewers about our Brain Matters initiative?
Well, just again, remember that you're keeping your cognitive skills sharp and your brain healthy is just as important as keeping the rest of your physical body healthy, because it all works together. And if you have need more information, please contact the Department of Aging at any time.
Thank you, Joanne, for sharing time with us from your busy schedule.
Thank you, Ethel. It's a pleasure.
To learn more about BCDA's Brain Matters initiative, please visit www.baltimorecountymd.gov/aging. Click on the Senior Center option to learn more. You can also phone MAP at 410-887-2594 for additional information. We're going to take a short break. When we return, learn about brain health.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Welcome back to The Time of Your Life. I'm your host, Ethel Rasmussen. Brain Matters is the focus of today's show. Our next guest, Dr. Daniel Storch, will discuss what you need to know about brain health. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
As you know, the Department of Aging's initiative for 2016 is Brain Matters. Let's begin by discussing some of the natural changes that occur in the brain with the aging process.
Sure. Aging generally implies a decrease in structure and some decrease in function and reserve. For the brain, this means the brain actually does get smaller. It loses mass, loses volume. The space between the brain, the ventricles get larger, and you can see this on MRI and CAT scans. Also, there's an accumulation of the damages that can occur through the years. So, for example, hypertension can cause even microscopic changes that can accumulate. So a theme that I'd like to state is that it's important to try to keep your brain as healthy as you can, and you do that by keeping your body as healthy as you can.
Okay, what, if any, does the aging process affect mental function of an individual?
Okay, well, there's good and there's bad. Some of the good is that some of what's called like crystallized intelligence is sort of can stay steady. So things like fund of information can even increase. Other things like vocabulary and word knowledge can stay the same. But there's also the negative, that the more active reasoning can decline some. And particularly speed declines, that doing time tasks take a big hit. And also other things like it can take longer to learn things. You can teach an old dog new tricks, but it can take longer and you may need more effort. You can have more distractibility. It may be harder to do things when there's other things going on. It may be harder to multitask. But getting back to some of the good things again, you get wisdom and experience. So sometimes younger folks can come to a decision quicker, but it can be wrong. As an older person, we've been through a lot, we know how things go, and we can sometimes get to a better decision.
What are some of the factors that play a role in sustaining good brain health?
Well, the brain does interact with the rest of the body. So again, the theme is trying to keep yourself healthy is very important. For example, I said the brain declines, gets smaller with age. So does the heart, and the vessels can narrow so you get less blood to the brain. And the brain requires more oxygen than any other organ in the body. So the lungs can decline, so you get less oxygen to the brain again, so it's important not to do any more harm. So if you smoke, it's very important to stop smoking. And that's the single most important thing we can do for our health is to stop smoking. In the same way, the liver does decline maybe 30%. So it's important not to damage it further by drinking too much. The kidneys can decline 1% to 2% a year. So again, it's important not to make this worse. Diabetes can affect the kidney. And if you're overweight, it can lead to diabetes and again affect the kidneys. So you want to try to keep yourself healthy as possible. And besides the brain and the body interacting together, the body and the brain interacts with the outside world. So you want to stay active, socialize. Generally, people who socialize and have friendship groups do better than people who don't.
We've all heard the phrase, use it or lose it, in regard to memory function. Can you give us some advice as how our viewers can sustain their brain function?
Well, it's very important to stay mentally alert. I was talking with somebody at a senior center a couple of days ago who plays bridge. That's a good way to keep mentally alert. Other things, crossword puzzles. My mother used to do word jumbles, so that's important. But again, I'll get back to trying to keep the brain healthy. You keep the body healthy. Things like exercise is so important. We used to think you can't make new brain cells, but exercise can actually stimulate the brain to make more brain cells through this brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Diet is so important. More and more we're talking about Mediterranean diets, more vegetarian diets, fruits, vegetables, olive oil, less red meat, less fried foods, less processed foods. And again, staying active is important. Having good socialization is important, trying to decrease stress, accentuating the positive, trying to stay away from the negative, getting enough sleep. Again, stop smoking if you smoke, and limit alcohol.
Can you talk about some of the diseases of the brain that are associated with the aging process and when our viewers should talk to a physician?
When we talk about brain diseases in old age, often we talk about problems with memory, attention, concentration, the general term that we call dementias. And maybe about 3 to 5% of 65-year-olds have dementia, increases to maybe 40 to 45% in 80-year-old people. But again, it's important to know that most seniors don't have dementia. But of the dementias, the most common is Alzheimer's disease. So there's dementias, and then Alzheimer's is the most common. About 2/3 of dementias are Alzheimer's, but there's a lot of other kinds as well. It's important to be diagnosed early, not only for planning, but some dementias, a few of them, can be reversed, like those due to thyroid problems or B12 deficiency. So it's important to get diagnosed early. Other conditions, delirium is described as a fluctuation of alertness and consciousness. Someone sort of seems out of it. And we see a lot of this in the hospital. It can be caused by simple things like urinary tract infections and constipation. And if you treat this, the person can get back to baseline. Again, we talked about the general medical illnesses, problems with the liver and the heart and the lungs. And if you treat these things too, that helps the brain. And then emotional problems are so very important. That I've often said that getting old is not for sissies, that there's lots of anxiety about your health, your people you love's health, money, will you have enough money for retirement? And every senior I've met has also lost someone that is dear to them. You don't get older without losing someone. So issues of loss and grief and depression also play a role. Now, concerning a doctor, I feel that everyone, especially seniors, should have a primary doctor. And the idea of this is the primary doctor is sort of like the hub of the wheel, and that the person gets to know you and what your baseline is, and then can refer you when needed to the different specialties. So concerning the doctor, I think it's important that you have a doctor and he and she gets to know you, so then you can go from there.
Do you have any last remarks that you would like to pass along in regard to this topic to our viewers?
Well, what I hear from seniors over and over again is staying busy doing something you enjoy. And then again, I would just repeat the basic healthy lifestyle things: exercise, diet, activity. Baltimore County has 20 good senior centers and going there. So, and stop smoking, limit alcohol, and have a primary doctor.
Thank you, Doctor, for being with us to share this valuable information in support of our initiative.
My pleasure. Thank you.
We're going to take a short break. When we return, learn about senior center travel, senior box office, and what's happening at your local senior center.
Did you take your medicine?
Oh gosh, I forgot it.
Her nurse.
You need a claim number?
Her personal assistant.
Let me just grab a...
Her housekeeper. Her cook. Her accountant. When I started taking care of Mom, I didn't realize the challenge of playing so many roles. But above all, I'm still her daughter.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving to connect with experts and other caregivers. Together we can better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
Welcome back to The Time of Your Life. I'm your host, Ethel Rasmussen. Let's conclude today's show with Debbie Orlove, Community Business Liaison at the Department of Aging. Debbie will fill you in on the latest events and programs offered by Senior Center Travel, Senior Box Office, and what's happening at your local senior center. Welcome, Debbie.
Thank you, Ethel. As the new year approaches, we are thrilled to present the best in entertainment and travel information on the time of your life. Let's start with Senior Center Travel by taking a look at some of the trips currently available at Baltimore County Senior Centers. details about any trip, please contact the Senior Center hosting the event or call Maryland Access Point of Baltimore County at 410-887-2594. Senior Box Office is yet another way to enjoy inexpensive access to cultural, educational, entertainment, and travel opportunities. Memberships are available throughout the year by contacting Senior Box Office. For now, let's take a look at some events promoted by Senior Box Office. To learn more about Senior Box Office, please call 410-887-5399 or visit Senior Box Office on the internet at www.seniorboxoffice.org. Now, let's take a look at what's happening at your local senior center. And that's what's happening. Ethel?
Thanks, Debbie. Remember, you can call the Department of Aging's information line called Maryland Access Point of Baltimore County, or MAP, at 410-887-2594 with questions pertaining to older adults and persons with disabilities. This show may also be viewed anytime on the internet at www.baltimorecountymd.gov/videos with open captioning. That brings us to the conclusion of this edition of The Time of Your Life, a National Mature Media Awards winner, provided by the Baltimore County Department of Aging, about the services and contemporary topics that keep you in the know. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Ethel Rasmussen.
You might feel like there's too many problems in the world, or that, you as a 15-year-old, 16-year-old can't really make a difference.
It's not always about you. It's not just one person. It's a group. It's a team. If we all show up together, that's what it's all about.
I was a part of helping to build what it is today.
I'm really lucky to get to be a part of that legacy.
Just that simple act that takes, 5 or 10 minutes of your time is making a difference and is transforming someone else's life.
Once you get there and realize how much you can change someone's life, it's one of the best feelings in the world.
I'd do anything to convince you just to be a part of this.
You guys keep doing what you're doing. It's something special.
Get up and try something. Just try it. Just go to one event, one action team event.
It'll just make you feel so good about yourself.